this video might be a bit scared because I don't really know what I'm trying to say, nor do I understand what I'm trying to think. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'm going to put it forward to you, and then I'm going to talk through what I'm thinking at this point in time, and then maybe by the end of it I'll come to a conclusion, probably not, but let's see. So I came across a video of this lady that goes around, and she basically, from my understanding, helps people clean their houses when it's really quite bad. Her name is called Clean with Bay or Clean with Bo. I forget what it was actually, but it's the first video I've ever come across of hers, and the house is terrible. It's really, really bad. And the owner of this house has animals, about 10 of them, to my understanding. And, these animals are in this living condition that's horrendous. Now, she goes on to talk about the owner, the pets, her thoughts, the RSPCA, the laws, throughout this video while she's showing you cleaning up this house. She kind of, talks about what she thinks, but also kind of plays the devil's advocate in defense of the owner and the animals that are being neglected. There's this one point where she talks about two things can be true at the same time. And one of the first examples she gives is that you can neglect your pets and love them at the same time. And I thought about that for a second, and I didn't know whether to agree or to say that that was contradictory of each other. Because the way the owner spoke of his pets seemed like he loved them, right? But obviously he wasn't in a right mental state, right? So no one is going to live how the house was, live in the house like it is, if he was sound of mind, right? Obviously mental health was a main factor here. Now, does that exclude the neglect? I don't think so. At the same time, I can understand being mentally unwell and not doing the right things when you're mentally unwell. So the understanding that I have, I guess, is that two things can be true at one time, but then I say they can't, they're contradictory of one another. My understanding of love is that no matter what, you are there for someone, that you do what your best for them. But then I know others that talk to me about love are very different, and everyone has a different understanding of what love is. I think some would say that love is that your brother comes to you and he's got a new pair of shoes and they look pretty ugly, and you say to him, oh, they look lovely, right? But my understanding of love is that if your brother comes to you and he's got some ugly pair of shoes, you go, yeah, I probably wouldn't wear them out, mate. They're a bit ugly, right? And I think people perceive love as two different things. Love to some people is the truth. Love to others is a white lie. And I guess that there's a massive variation of what love is. But for me personally, what love is actions you do, right? Not what you say, but what you actually do. If you say you're going to come visit your mum every week and you don't, then for me that is just lies, right? That's not love. It's the action that you do. So I guess this is where I get confused, because the way that the owner talked about these pets, and he would come feed them, and he would, I guess do his best. He still came and fed them and gave them water and stuff like that. It's just hard because it seemed like he loves them, and I don't doubt that he didn't. At the same time, it's like, how did you leave your pets in such a horrible state? But then, did he even see any wrong in it? Or maybe, towards the end, I think he surrenders his pets to the RSPCA or shelter, which I guess is him saying, okay, yeah, I'm not good enough, or not good enough. What? I'm not fit to look after these animals, right? And in that, I would say there's love in that, right? In the sense that he goes, okay, I'm not fit enough to look after these. Let's pass them on, they'll have a better life, right? And I think there's love in that. So now I'm contradicting myself, thinking that he didn't love them because he didn't have the action to, make sure they were in a safe environment, they got walks and stuff like that. At the same time, he does love them because the actions he did later on. So now I'm in a pickle where I would say they're contradictory of one another, but later on down the line I go, oh well, he definitely does love them. Okay, I think I've come to my conclusion after talking to myself. He did love them, but only when he had the action of handing them over or surrendering them are we able to see that he loves them. I think that's the best way. I think if he never handed them over and he, after this woman's come along and cleaned all their place and helped him, and he kept them and it got just as bad, I would say maybe that he doesn't love them. But then again, if then he done the action after that, I don't know. This is such a confusing thing to think about. Okay, my second conclusion. We will never know what someone is feeling or wanting to do until they make the action. Until someone goes and visits the mum every week, we won't truly know ourselves if that person loves that person. But that person will. That person will know themselves. And until they show it with action, then we won't know. But if that person never goes, then we know from the non-action that they don't love their mum. That makes sense? I think that makes sense. There's one other thing she said, and that is that love is not always enough. And I think I can piggyback on that and say, yeah, right, maybe that's where we can see the same line. Because maybe they love them, but they're not taking the action, right, which is the enough part, right? Action and love together makes it enough. And I think maybe he loved them, but he never actioned the love until very late on. And that's when it became enough. Yeah, I like that. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.